The voice of God in my mind and on my mind is talking about Charles Toh, Asian masculine adultery of Asian in America, due in Asia, and due to be able to get from America to Asia by illegal alive. That means he'll die illegally in America and illegally alive in Asia. And it's too far in the wrong at this time for him to do that. I don't know him in that scenario. It's possible that he would have died a long time ago if I had never met him. Himself. I am due in deceasement at this time. I am not due in alive to make this video. I'm due in deceasement and my voice is not holding up for this video because my genitals are deceased in threats. I'll try to keep the voice steady for the video because I need to make it for the YouTube and for dinner tonight because I still eat. As long as the door locking is in activity, I'm still eating, and Charles Toh is still moving the door locking. So there will be dinner tonight. But I don't have enough food in the apartment, so I'm trying to make some food money. And if you see this video after today, the food money's been spent. The date today is March something of the year 2025. My dong genital, which caused me to alive in this world, is deceased by Charles Toh putting his finger on my clitoris, which is a clitoris to myself, but it's a clitoris to himself because there are other females in the world who have a clitoris. He put his finger on my clitoris and he sexually climaxed my head, and my overlord died. So I am the Lord the wrong way. I ended up being the Lord because my overlord died. But it was a long cry that my overlord was not alive anymore because my overlord was creating myself outside of my house. That means he sexually abused myself outside of my house. And when I was in my house, I got an overlord because there was a home invasion inside the house. And I don't need an overlord in my house, except there were strangers in my house. So I have that problem. And then when I was outside of my house, I had an overlord for that. And the sexual abuse of my clitoris executed my overlord and left me with no money. So I'm the Lord, and I'm killing the world without my overlord having made money for that I was just alive and the world was alive. I'm the overlord speaking now because it's an adultery of the body. The Lord died outside, which was the order, but it's not, the door locking's not deceased. I'm the overlord does that. The Lord doesn't decease the door locking. The overlord deceases the door locking. Because it's up there, it's over the Lord. The Lord is here. I don't do that. I don't decease door locking. So the sexual climax in the presence of an enemy was malicious by Charles Toh. He breached the front door, the door locking doorway. He just fits through the doorway like everybody else. And he sexually abused myself and followed me all over the world doing that to my genitals. And he executed my genitals that got me alive here, which was the dong genital of a male. but it's not a dong to himself, it's a dong if you're not myself. I am myself just has, it's just genitals on myself. I don't, but I'm describing it as it would be similar to what a dong looks like, which is after myself deceased. You have a dong if I'm not alive anymore. What's wrong with myself having genitals at all is that I kill myself with genitals because I don't mentally afford that. You are insubordinate. You just are. There's nothing you can do about it at this point. I had male genitals. I had the name Lucky, and it was not known that my name was Lucky. It was deceased to know that. If I'm not alive, if I don't have genitals, I'm not alive. The genitals are called dong, and Lucky is just a word you use to describe that I sent something after myself deceased. So, as the female, my name is Becky, but I don't have the threatening that I would be called Becky anymore. The Becky name is from my overlord deceased. The body here is really the Lord and doesn't have a name. You have a name if you're not myself, and you don't understand your genitals are sent out from myself because you are apart from myself with genitals, is how you can think about me. And you don't think about me with your genitals, you think about each other as endless disasters. When you say yes and no, yes and no, yes and no, arbitration of what you hear and see, you are destroying your genitals, is how you're making money. That means it's not money to myself, it's cash to you. So why isn't it called making cash? Yeah, it's not called making cash. Johnny Cash, CMT, Country Music Television on Cox Cable. He's old, but there is some, sometimes you can see him there. And then, of course, you can look on the internet for Johnny Cash. He's an old Cohen disaster. He has a dong genital elsewhere. In this world, he has a penis, and he's not a nice man in the penis. He's not due near a microphone with the penis, and he didn't leave the microphone with the penis. I say the word penis, and it is molested. The genital penis is due outside homeless, and you're not supposed to ever say what's the genitals called. You don't say this genital is a penis. You don't say that. You just don't say it. The word penis is completely molested, and the genitals of the penis, the genitals penis outside of the threatening are molested. You don't understand what I'm saying because you're molested. You're molested so hard that you could see me on YouTube and you would not know that your genitals are deceased looking at me on YouTube. How else? How do you decease your own genitals, but they're still there? Yep, you can decease your own genitals, and you're not allowed to cut them off with a knife. You're decease your own genitals when you say no to the threatening. You decease your own genitals when you have illegal key fit, which is all of them. If you're a male with a penis and you have a key in your hand or in your pocket, if you have any keys that you use, you decease your genitals with keys. You decease your genitals by saying no to somebody who's telling you there's something wrong with you. You decease your genitals. You decease your genitals if you know who I am or where I am. You decease your genitals if you're in high-speed traffic. You could be in somebody else's car and you decease your genitals. You can't be on a city bus. You decease your genitals. The females are supposed to be a little slower in the pace, but they're illegally alive of 16 worlds